What is going on, all you Pokemon collecting maniacs out there? This is Ryan, the PikaPikaPaPa, and unless you've been sleeping under a Poke Rock, you have heard about the reprint that is coming over in Japan for 151. And you also know, if you've been watching this channel, I am not big into the Japanese card space. It's just not for me. I always say collect and invest in what you know and what you love. And it's not that I don't think the products over there aren't awesome. They are, but it's just not for me. It's not in my core circle of competency. However, if there is any product on the face of the planet that can get me interested in the Japanese card market, it is 151. So when this reprint was announced, I got really excited. I was like, man, this is a great opportunity for me to possibly add some of this into the Poke closet. But at the same time, you know that I can't just go blindly into anything. I have to do a stupid amount of research. I have to search for comparisons. And so I did all that, and that's why the video is here today. I found a really cool product to compare it to, where from a numbers and timeline perspective, they line up perfectly. But I am going to say this early in the video, I don't think you can compare 151 to anything. I think 151 is just a set all in of itself. It is its own beast. I don't think it's going to follow any particular trends, but having something to at least compare it to, even though I think 151 is a significant better set, that at least tells me what a equally awesome set, but a little bit underneath it, has done in the past, which gives me a sense of security. So before we get into all of that, remember, this is the final video where you can enter the contest to win one of 3 prizes. We're celebrating 5,000 subscribers. I'm so incredibly thankful to all of you. One of the things we're giving away is an Evolving Skies Elite Trainer Box. Evolving Skies is crazy hot, so I can't wait to mail this off to one of you. We're also giving away a Pikachu V-Union box from Celebrations, and then the final and most coveted prize of them all, which I'm sure you will all be fighting over, is the PikaPikaPaPa merch, a one-of-one t-shirt that is be going out to one lucky person. Now, in order to enter the contest, you have to be a subscriber, so hit that subscribe button. You have to hit a thumbs up on this video, and you got to drop a comment down below. Those 3 things will get you entered into the contest, and then at the end on Friday, I'm going to draw 3 winners, and it's going to be a ton of fun. And so this is all because you all have been so supportive. Thank you very much. So with all that out of the way, let's get into what's going on here in this space and why I'm so excited. So you know that I do a grading card video every single month, right? We talk about this. I've been doing it for, I don't know, a year and a half at this point, and we always get some really cool learnings from it. So I went back to August of 2023 because this was when V-Star Universe was incredibly hot. This was actually exactly 9 months after V-Star Universe had came out, and guess what? We're exactly 9 months after Pokemon 151 had come out. So in yellow there, that was the exact quote from the video that I did back in August of 2023, and it said, V-Star remains the #1 graded set 5 months in a row, and a reprint is coming. So weird, right? Like 9 months after V-Star Universe came out, they announced a reprint. 9 months after 151 came out, they announced a reprint. Now, V-Star Universe was insanely popular. Look at the grading volume there. At this point, there was over 235,000 V-Star Universe cards graded. Like, no wonder they did a reprint. It was obviously wildly, wildly popular. And then since this point up until now, there's been 175,000 additional cards graded. So V-Star Universe is over 410,000 total cards graded, which is just an insanely high number. Now, at this point, booster boxes were going for about $120, and now they're going for mid-90s, and we're going to look at that graph here later on, but I thought this was a really cool point in time to call out because, hey, listen, we just got done with our last grading card video, the March 2024 grading card video, and in yellow was the verbatim around 151 this month. 151 was the #1 most graded set for 5 months in a row up until March when it dropped down to #2. And guess what? They have announced a reprint. So an incredibly similar trend here. Wildly popular sets, huge grading volume. Exactly 9 months after they come out, the Japanese Pokemon company goes ahead and announces a reprint. They're following the same pattern. But what is interesting here, we talked about the crazy volume in V-Star Universe from a grading perspective. Look at this. There has been 262,000 151 Japanese cards graded right now, which is 27,400 more than V-Star Universe at this exact same point, which is crazy. Again, I said this early in the video, like 151 is its own beast. It's incredibly popular. So I wasn't surprised to see that many cards graded right now, but that is just an insane number. Look at some of the other sets along here. V-Star Universe, as I said, is at 410,000. The 1999 Pokemon game, the original set, right, which includes base sets, Shadowless, includes base set 2, it includes first edition, all of that. There's only 774,000 1,000 of that graded. Now print runs were very different, but again, only 774,000. You look at Crown Zenith down there, 165,000 of that has been graded. That's the highest graded English set that we've seen pretty much ever besides the original 1999 set. So when you think about Pokemon 151 and how new it is, and it already has almost 263,000 cards graded, that volume is absolutely crazy to think about. So the next thing, as I said, we're going to look at the V-Star Universe booster box prices and what happened. So again, it was $120 in August of 2023, and now it's in, I say, the mid-90 range. I went looking on eBay, seeing what they're selling for, seeing what buy it nows are set at. So we're going to say about $95. So it's roughly come down about 20% since then. What I liked about this, though, is the decline has been slow and steady. You know, there's a couple kind of aggressive up and downs, really only two in here. But for the most part, if you were to trend line this out, this is a very steady, slow and to the right decline. Now, the decline started immediately after the announcement. It doesn't always start as soon as the product hits the shelves, because the people understand that, hey, listen, there's more coming, so what I have now is going to go down in value, so people are trying to turn and burn that to buy the new stuff at MSRP that they can. So we see that decline right after the announcement, and we see it in 151. We'll talk about that in a minute. But my biggest takeaway from this, at least from V-Star Universe, is it really was a slow and steady burn down and to the right, because when I'm thinking about the window of opportunity to get in on Pokemon 151, I have to figure out what my entry point is and what the entry dollar amount should be. So I took this as a big lesson, that it didn't just happen overnight. There was a slow and steady burn down into the right for V-Star Universe. Now, this is what has been going on in the 151 space as of yet. First, I'm going to talk about the comments down at the very bottom. This is from PokeBeach.com, which is a very awesome source for getting all things Pokemon, and they talk about how Japanese booster boxes over in Japan were going for the equivalent of 132 US dollars. And then as soon as the reprint announcement came out, they immediately shot down to 100 US dollars per booster box. And the anticipation here is that the price will continue to fall once the reprint actually hits the shelves, because MSRP is right at $38 in US. And again, they're going to be available at MSRP on the shelves. So this will continue to see the price coming down. Now, I will say this, that anybody outside of Japan, you are going to pay a premium. It's going to be very hard to get any Japanese products at MSRP, simply because you're going to have to pay for somebody to buy it and somebody to ship it to you. And there's just a bunch of complexities when it comes to trying to buy products outside, or at least from another country. So you will almost never pay exactly MSRP. So expect to pay more of that. But it is very interesting that at least on the Japan side of things, immediately after the reprint was announced, it has come down about 24%. Now, the graph above that is the sale price for the last 6 months for Japanese 151 booster boxes on eBay. And I love eBay. eBay is the world's largest marketplace for buying and selling Pokemon cards. So when you look at this graph, I think there's a lot of things to be learned from. If you look from early October all the way till December, there weren't a lot of average sales or average weeks where the prices were over $200. Then you get into December and you start to see that blue line get really close to that $200 mark. A lot of boxes were selling $180, $190, $200, and that graph gets really aggressive. Then on the very far right, which is the most recent information, all the way up until this week, you see that there is a steep decline. I went and looked on eBay this morning. Buy it nows are in the 140, 145-ish range. That includes shipping and everything. And there were even some auctions that sold right around the $100 mark. Now remember, the reprint was essentially just announced, so we need some more time to work this out. But the decline in 151 is very similar to what we saw from V-Star Universe, right? The decline happens right away. But the interesting thing to me is that, again, this is pre the reprint actually happening, right? So you've got to wait until the reprint actually hits the shelves to see exactly what is going to go on. Now, the other thing I wanted to call out is the single card market. To me, is really important, because I think there's some uniqueness in 151. We all align on that from a singles card perspective. We're going to talk about that here. I don't have V-Star Universe prices back to August from a graded card perspective, but you know that I do this index fund, which we update every single quarter, and V-Star Universe PSA 10s is in that index fund. So from January until now, the cards have been absolutely decimated in prices, right? Like the cards are down almost 30% in V-Star Universe PSA 10 slabs. Down almost 30% is a huge drop in 3 months. But that makes sense when we think about the grading volume. Hey, listen, those Japanese cards are of the highest print quality, so it is not uncommon to see high cards in these Japanese sets have a gem rate in the high 70s, high 80s. We've seen some with gem rates in the 90 percentile, which is insane. Like, for me as an investor and as a collector, like, yes, I like great print quality, but I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't want English cards to have a 90% 98% gem rate. I want PSA 10s to be a little bit rarer. I want them to have some value to them. And we have so many lessons from the Japanese space where single card prices just get absolutely decimated because the print quality is so good, which is crazy to say. But again, listen, remember, this is just from January till now for the V-Star Universe cards. So then I thought, let's take a look at the 151 cards. And when you look at this right here, these are the top 15 cards in regards to raw card pricing from Japanese 151. Look at all the Master Balls. That's the big difference, right? That's the one that's going to separate Japanese 151 even from the English variant, right? Are these awesome Master Balls. I think 11 of these 15 most expensive cards are the Master Ball variants, right? You got the Pikachu, you got the Gengar. I mean, don't get me wrong, like the Charizard's awesome, the Mew is awesome, but just the Master Balls are something in and of itself. I think it's a fantastic way for it to be separate and to be different and to be unique, and I think that that is really going to help the 151 booster boxes, maybe not necessarily the single card prices, but the booster boxes differentiate themselves from the long run. So then I thought, okay, we looked at V-Star Universe PSA 10 prices. Let's take a look at some of these Japanese 151 PSA 10 prices as well. And I wouldn't say shocked, but I was surprised at how close they are because they are, again, compared to V-Star Universe, there has only been about 270,000 of these graded in the Japanese 151 space, but the raw and the PSA 10 prices are incredibly close. Again, when the gem rate's that high, it's not too surprising to see this. So the Charizard, obviously that's the big chase card in the English variant. In the Japanese one, the big chase cards are the Master Balls, but the Charizard card right there, a raw one's going to set you back about $100, and you can buy a PSA 10 for about $175. And then when you talk about the big dog, the big chase card from Japanese 151, that's the Pikachu Master Ball. Again, raw for about $300. And then a PSA 10, buy it now, is going to cost you about $400. And then the Mewtwo right there, a raw card and a PSA 10 are almost neck and neck. So when I think about this, this is the section that I think is going to come under extreme pressure. Do I think there's going to be some price changes in the booster box space? Absolutely. We've already started to see it. Do I think there's going to be more change when the booster boxes absolutely hit the shelves? Absolutely. I think we're going to see it. But I think that the booster box prices might be more temporary. I think that obviously we're going to see some of these Master Ball prices come down, even though they're incredibly hard pulls. I just think that we're going to see those prices come down as more box hit the market, as more of them get ripped. I think the PSA 10 prices for all of these is going to continue to come down because I don't see the grading volume changing anytime soon, and obviously the print quality is so high. We're going to have tons and tons and tons of more PSA 10s hitting the market. But the booster boxes is really what I wanted to talk about, and this will probably surprise a lot of you, but I do think that because of the Master Balls, and I do think because of the excitement and the hype around 151, I think there's going to be a window of opportunity to buy some of these booster boxes at great prices. I don't know how low they will go. I don't know if they'll hit $100, $120. Like, I don't know how low is, but I'm going to say this. I think in the long run, they're going to do fine. I think they will push through the stall. I think the window of opportunity to buy these will be relatively small, but if you're looking for a long-term, investment in the Japanese space and you're new to this, I think if you can get a booster box picked up, in the $100 range and you're thinking 3, 5, 10 years down the road, I think you will be very, 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 very happy with that investment because, again, I just think 151 is a set that we can't really compare to anything in recent memory. I think 151 booster boxes are going to be just fine. If anything, I am more excited about this than anything else because I know I'll have the opportunity to grab some and add them to the Poke Closet. So listen, if you made it to the end of this video and you had a lot of fun, enter the contest, hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, drop a comment down below. I would love to have you as a member of this channel if you aren't already. We have a ton of fun. We do cool stuff like this all the time. I appreciate you so much for watching. Y'all have an epic one, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks, everybody. Bye.